I'm Gillian. I'm an online running and nutrition coach based out of Toronto. Now, if you follow me on social media or you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you may be aware that I'm currently training for a half marathon. So I thought it might be quite interesting to show you what I take with me on all of my runs and the different belts, backpacks that I use to kind of carry all my stuff. And a little disclaimer here, I perhaps overpack. I'm your classic overpacker, whether I'm going on vacation, a night away, whatever. I always take more than I actually need. But I thought it might still be beneficial for you to see what I use and what I take along with me on each of my runs. So the first one, this is typically what I take when I'm doing a really short run. So it doesn't actually have a brand name to it. I actually was given this as a race, a clinic instructor as part of the kind of race kit. So I don't actually know the brand, but if I can find something similar, I will link it below because I really, really like this. Not only is it bright yellow, so it's visible, but it does have, you can see there's got an on-off button here, so it does have lights on either side of the zip, which is really nice just as an extra kind of safety feature. So yeah, I would use this for short runs only, because I don't take that much when I go for a short run. So when I say a short run, anything sort of between 20 and 30 minutes. So if I'm doing hills or speed work or interval training or just a short 5K, I would just pretty much always take this, unless it's really hot and I need to take water, in which case I'll show you the other belt. But this is kind of like my standard go-to short run belt. And in it, I would always take my cell phone, my mobile phone. I would take ID, money or my credit card, just in case. I would also take my house keys and a whistle. The whistle is just a safety thing I prefer kind of having with me in case of an emergency. Although I say that it's in here, but I would carry it or I would have it on my persons. So it technically not in the belt, but just as a side thing. So on all my runs, regardless of the distance, this is what I would take. So my cell phone, ID, money or a credit card, my keys and a whistle. And yeah, I really like this little wee pack. So yeah, oh no, actually it does have a brand on it. Fit Kicks. Okay, well I will find this exact one and link it below. Didn't even know that. So this is my kind of long-standing trusted belt, hydration belt from Nathan. I really like this one. I've had it for maybe 4 years, and it definitely looks like I've had it for 4 years. Like the elastic's going funky and the plastic's going yellow, but I really like it. It's really comfortable. It stays pretty put with the buckle here, and it does carry a lot. Like it's a really big fat pouch. So I would wear this if I'm doing longer runs or something like if I'm going out and I either need hydration or if I'm running with others and I need a bit of a first aid kit. So yeah, I would use this for anything below maybe anything below 20k, because then I would put water either in both of the water bottle holders, or I'd have one that's water and one that's Moon electrolyte, just depending on the heat and how long I'm going to be out for. And then in the pouch at the front, I would put my gels, so it's then easy enough for me to kind of reach around. I typically use gels if I'm running anything more than about 12 or 15k typically. And then inside the main compartment, similar to the last belt that I showed you, I would take my mobile phone, my ID, cash or a credit card, my keys, and like I said, I'd have my whistle as well, but typically I'd kind of put it in the front pocket so it was easy to access. And then also, because this is a slightly bigger pack, I would also take plasters, tissues, and any kind of first aid bits that I might need. And like I said, it's a really fat pouch and you don't really feel it jiggling around that much as long as it's kind of fairly tight around my waist. But yeah, like there's a lot can fit in this one. So I really like this, and this was the one that I was using for pretty much all of my long races until I got the hydration backpack, which I'll show you in a second. So yeah, I really like this. I would highly recommend this pack, this brand. I think it's got enough space to kind of carry all those kind of essential things, and then there's the water as well. I did use this when I was marathon training a couple of years ago, and I did find that there wasn't enough, the water bottles didn't contain enough water or fluids for me to run my training runs for the marathon, so I would often have to refill them. So it's not great if it's a really hot run or a really long run and I need hydration. Otherwise I then need to kind of fill them up at water fountains or go buy some water and I kind of add it to it. So just kind of something to kind of think about there. But I really, really like this one. And once this one dies, I will definitely be buying the same brand again because I really like it. And then the third one I got, I know it's ridiculous how many I've got, is the Nathan backpack. So this one, I don't actually have the water bladder in the backpack at the moment. It's sitting in my cupboard. But this is the pack that I would use for really long runs. So if I'm marathon training or even half marathon training and it's hot and I need a lot of liquid, because this contains a lot more than the other pack does. The only downside being though, it's obviously the bladder will just fit either water or an electrolyte. It can't have both. I guess I could probably put two bladders in the backpack, one with electrolytes and one with water. I haven't tried that yet, but that's maybe a genius idea. So this one doesn't have as much storage as compared to the other belt. Obviously I could put some things in the backpack portion, and sometimes I've put like maybe waterproof jacket or anything that I kind of need that's a bit more big and bulky, but typically where I put the stuff that I need the most is down the front. So actually let me put it on, it'll be easier to kind of show you. But I really like this one. I found it took me quite a while to find a pack that I really liked. Okay, there we go. I look ridiculous. No, I don't. So here is like a little bit of a mesh pocket. So here's where I would typically put a lot of my gels. I'm trying to kind of ram in as many as I possibly could into this pocket. The rest would go in the backpack, and at some point when I was doing like a walking break, I would kind of replenish and put them here. And then here I would always put my phone. I'm just much more comfortable being able to grab it fairly quickly in case of an emergency. If I need to send an emergency SOS, I prefer it here, but I always put it on flight mode because I don't want any, I don't know, I just don't feel comfortable having my phone on my person in this kind of region and potentially still emitting stuff. So I always put it on flight mode when it's here. And this pocket pretty much just fits my phone and that is it. So anything else I want to take with me, I have to put in the back. Which is fine because there is space. As long as the bladder is not absolutely jam-packed full, there is space. Excuse me. So inside here, I don't know if you can see that, there's a little slip in here. So I typically would put my bladder in the main piece, and then in the back piece, that's where I would put like my credit card or my money, my ID, anything else that I need to take with me that's small. So yeah, I would take plasters and tissues and anything else that I kind of feel like I might need, given that I'm going to be out of the house for quite a long time. So yeah, that's what I use. Obviously this one's got a light on as well. Typically if I'm running sort of evening or when the light is going down, I'll make sure that I kind of have those snap-on wrist things attached to one of the belts or the bags. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I take on all of my runs. So cell phone, mobile phone, ID, money or cards, keys, a whistle, potentially tissues and plasters, safety pins sometimes, because you never know if you're going to have a wardrobe malfunction, water, electrolytes, gels. Yeah, I think that is it. Oh, and sometimes I might maybe take like a chafe stick. So if I'm running a long distance, so yeah, again, if I'm training for a marathon or a half marathon, I might take a chapstick, just in case I get chafe in my arms or my legs. That's another good one. sometimes lip balm, and then this is when it just gets out of control and I start taking everything but the kitchen sink with me. So yes, don't always do as I say, because you might not want to take all that stuff. You might be a fairly light runner and all you have is your Garmin and off you go. But I like to take stuff with me, not only to make myself feel safer with my cell phone, my ID, my money, the whistle. Obviously I need my keys, they need to go somewhere, and then yeah, water and whatnot. I feel better having it all with me, knowing it's there. It's either on my back or on my waist, and I don't need to worry about it. But yeah, I hope this was of interest. I'm sorry I was kind of prattling on a little bit. But yeah, and let me know in the comments box below what you carry with me, or if you think I have got a ridiculous amount of stuff that I take on my runs. I'd love to know. Thanks for watching.